Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the psychological thriller Hurry Up Tomorrow, which stars The Weekend along with Barry Cogan and Jenna Ortega. This is a film that kind of slipped under the radar. I was a little interested in seeing because I am a huge The Weeknd fan. I've listened to all of his albums. I am a huge admirer of his work, his style, and it's just something about his music that just just touches me. But I wanted to see how he can handle leading a film. He has acted before. He was in that HBO series The Idol, which was not a good show. And I didn't fault him for that because the show overall just wasn't good. The acting just wasn't good on that show. And I'm not expecting, you know, stellar acting from The Weeknd here, but I thought maybe, this is more of his wheelhouse. He's basically playing a fictionized version of himself, so it wasn't much of a stretch. And so I was a little curious about this movie. Plus, you surround him with some just phenomenal talent, such as Barry Cogan and Jenna Ortega. Like, okay, I'll peep it out. It shouldn't hurt nothing. You know, it shouldn't offend me. But it did. This movie was not good. This was a horrible movie. I didn't. I don't know. I know that there is some artistic element to this movie, some deep, visceral message in this film. It went completely over my head. I have no idea what this movie was about. Well, I know what it's about, but it made no sense. That's the sad part. This was just horribly made. This is a movie that feels like a student film. One of these up and coming directors who's studying at USC or something like that. This is a student film. It didn't have any substance, even though it was trying to have some substance. This For the first hour of this movie, you're completely lost. Now, once you get to the 1 hour point, then the movie kind of picks up, but you only have 40 minutes left in the movie at that point. And at that point, you're trying to, okay, now it's starting to heat up a little bit, but at that point, you're so disinterested in the movie, you don't care. You honestly don't care about what's happening towards the end of the film. That first hour was so boring. I'm like, man, get to the point. Get to the point of this movie. That's if you can get past the first 20 minutes. If you don't catch a seizure watching all the flashing lights or the blinding lights, just to throw the Weekend reference there. But it was like, okay, what are we doing? Do I have to be loaded to watch this film, or is it is it going to get to some type of actual storytelling? And it really didn't. The characters here, none of the characters are likable. Not one character in this film is likable. That includes The Weekend. There's nothing to grasp. There's nothing there for the audience to cheer, nothing to relate to. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. And I know that they threw in some elements of mental health and childhood trauma, I guess, and all of that, but it was just thrown in there. It wasn't expanded upon. It wasn't flushed out. I think with a better filmmaker, and no disrespect to Trey Edward Schultz, that who directed this film, but I think somebody with a little more experience and a little more understanding of storytelling probably could have dragged out a better film here. Because there are elements of a good movie here, but we don't get it. We don't get it at all It was this drugged out kind of uh euphoric type. I don't know how to describe the first first half of the movie, but it's like, okay, we're on this little journey through this pop star's life and mine, and his uh uh struggles dealing with depression and insomnia and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, we're gonna deep dive into this character, and then it kind of flips, and you have the Jenna Ortega character who just pops up and pops out. It's like you thinking is going to be a major part, and she is a major part of this movie, but it's like literally she's thrown into the movie and with little backstory. She tells her little biography, you know, when she's having a conversation with the Weekend. Uh, but that's it. We still don't go in depth in why she is the way she is. And Billy, keep wanting to say Billy, but Barry Colgan, who plays his agent, I mean, what was the point of his character? There was no point. There was absolutely no reason for his character. What makes matters worse is, the end result of this film. This movie turned into Misery, the old Stephen King, Rob Reiner film that starred James Caan and Kathy Bates. It turned into Misery for about 20 minutes. And that's where I was kind of interested. I was like, okay, we're getting that type of movie. But then grand opening, grand closing, it was just snap of the finger, and that part of the movie was over, and then the movie ends. It's like we're right where we started at the beginning. Nothing, absolutely nothing changed. Nothing. It was a waste of 90 minutes of my life. The movie is called Hurry Up Tomorrow, and midway through I was like, man, hurry up through this movie. This is so depressing. This movie is so depressing. It is sickening. Now, if you listen to the Weeknd's music, you know that it's not too happy and bubbly. Yeah, he has flashing lights, kind of upbeat. He has some upbeat songs that he plays, but if you listen to the lyrics, they're not really upbeat. But so it kind of fits him, but the movie just did not deliver at all. And I was honestly hoping for a Purple Rain ripoff, man. That I would have been so happy with that, because that's initially what went through my mind when this movie, at least when I saw the trailer for this movie for the first time. I was like, okay, the Weeknd is gonna do his little warped out crazy version of Purple Rain or something like that. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. And I would have accepted a Purple Rain ripoff. You know, just give me something. Give me something to feel. And I felt absolutely nothing. Hurry Up Tomorrow gets a letter grade of an F. Yeah, it is absolutely nothing in this film that I can look back on and say, well, at least they did this right. Well, this scene, it was kind of bad, but the acting was all right. No, it was nothing. And now, as far as the two legitimate actors in here, they acted. Barry Colgan and Jenna Ortega. You can tell they know how to act, but they didn't have anything to work with, man. And for his credit, The Weeknd, I guess he did the best he could. I mean, he's not an actor, so I really can't judge him. But ah, there's nothing about this movie I enjoyed. Not one thing. And that's kind of hurtful because, like I said, I am a huge The Weeknd fan. But it's all good. I still got his music. Still gonna listen to his music. His music slaps. Well, there is one element of this movie that I did like. I did like the soundtrack because it's The Weeknd. He has an album that came out with this. I guess you could say soundtrack of the same name. So there's that. But that's the only good thing to come out of Hurry Up Tomorrow was Hurry Up Tomorrow, the album. But that's just my feelings of this movie. I would love to know your thoughts of Hurry Up Tomorrow. Did you like it? Did you even know about this movie? Because I know I don't even think it's playing in a lot of theaters. I definitely didn't see any trailers on TV. And to be fair, I don't watch that much regular television, with all these streaming services, but I didn't see much promotion for it. I I just happened upon it. So lucky me, but I just wanted to check it out before it got too far along, and I never did get around to watching it. I at least wanted to get it under my belt, and uh, I'm regretting it. I could have been doing something better with myself for that time. But anyway, my initial question: did you enjoy it if you saw it, and if you didn't see it, were you ever going to watch it? I don't I honestly, and I don't do this often. You don't have to watch. This is one of those movies that you can go on in life being all right if you don't see the movie. Now I will say, listen to the music. Go check out some of the Weekend's music and this soundtrack. Yeah, you do that. But the movie, no. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this glowing review of Hurry Up Tomorrow. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.